So what's going on with the Babylon 5 reboot? And will it appear on our TV screens much sooner than we expected? Welcome to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So back in September, it was announced that Babylon 5 would be returning to our TV screens. Show creator J. Michael Straczynski, who I'm going to call JMS from now on because that's a very difficult name to say, announced on Twitter that he has written the pilot, that he has a really good idea where the show is going to go over the course of a series, and that it has been greenlit, that he will be making the pilot. Now, since then, he's been on Twitter several times. He's talked about how this show might actually be on our screens much sooner than we expected. He was asked, will it be on our TV screens in 2023? And his answer was, no, actually. I'm planning to start filming in spring of 2022 of the pilot. If I haven't screwed that up, I'm going to be able to start filming the full-blown series in June or July, sort of 2022, for a premiere on the CW network by fall 2022. So we could actually see the Babylon 5 reboot appear on our screens within the next 12 months. That for me is an incredible turnaround, but actually a very possible turnaround. And really, you know what, these TV series, back in the day, traditional TV series like we used to get, not streaming TV series that we get nowadays, they do have a 12-month turnaround from writing to appearing on our screens, because obviously then the next series is starting in production. So if they create a series every 12 months, getting this series on our TV screens within 12 months seems more than likely. And I'm very, very excited by that, because it really shows a passion to get this back on and a commitment from the CW. So what can we expect from the new series? Because he has hinted at a few storylines that I'll talk about in a second. But first of all, the CW network is going to be appearing on. This, for me, is a network that creates TV shows like the Arrowverse, the Flash series and all these things. Superman versus Lois at the moment, and Superman versus Lois, like they're in a fight. Well, they are married. But Superman and Lois. Back in the day, Smallville. They always have reasonable production value and decent budgets without, maybe being massive. But they do produce some really interesting and sometimes very brave television. I'm thinking like the series iZombie. Very clever TV show. Very not really normal for a kind of a network television show. But very brave, very creative. This is a TV network that I think will allow JMS to have the show that he wants to do. And obviously JMS has had a very successful career, including Babylon 5 and since. He has enough gravitas and enough respect within the CW network that I think they're going to let him do what he wants without having too much interference. We're going to actually see the Babylon 5 JMS envisages on our screens. But how about the TV show itself? Now, he has obviously said this is going to be a bottom-up, hard reboot. It's not going to be the Babylon 5 we grew up with, but I think at its core, there will be certain parts that will be. For example, the Babylon 5 station still seems to be a 5-mile-long beacon in space. Space station in the neutral zone with several different species coming and going. A haven for smugglers and traffic and explorers and everything else. So that will still be very much, I imagine, similar, or at least something that we can recognise. But the TV show itself is going to be very different. He talks about how Babylon 5 reflected the culture and the problems in society back in the 90s, and he wants the new TV show to do exactly the same. But time has moved on. We're talking nearly 30 years. We do still have fractions in our society. We have friction within our political systems. We have a very diverse society and a very fractured society. He wants the new Babylon 5 to still reflect that. So we're still going to be talking about some of the things like freedom and things like that that we see in Babylon 5 from the original, but in a very different way. He's also, though, hinted what the storyline is going to roughly be in the new first series. It's going to be still based around Captain Sheridan, Bruce Boxlender's character from the first series. He's going to be coming to the station as its new captain. He is going to have some sort of mysterious background, which he kind of hinted at in the first series as well, but I think this is going to go far more into it. But as he arrives, a Earth company accidentally triggers a conflict with a species that they know very little about, and that might be anything up to 1 million years ahead of them in technology. This is going to put Babylon 5 at the front line of this conflict, and basically mean that they are the best line of defense for Earth's survival. Who this enemy is going to be is not 100% clear, because obviously we had the conflict between the Minbari and Earth, and the Sheridan character was right in the middle of that conflict. Are we going to see a repeat of that, or is that going to be something that is sidelined because the conflict with the Shadows is going to be maybe developed in a slightly different way? Now, this was always a species that sort of had come from ancient times and had been awoken to return to scourge through the galaxy. Is this something that is going to be maybe woken by Earth interference? Something that this Earth company does that triggers the conflict? Or are we going to see the Minbari War, but in far more detail than we ever did in the series, and potentially delivered a different way? Either way, I'm absolutely certain JMS is going to do a stunning job, and this is the one series in 2022 I'm most excited about. Amazon can spend £1 billion on Lord of the Rings. I'll take it or leave it. But Babylon 5 returning to our screens? Now that is something I am genuinely excited about, and I'm absolutely convinced we're going to see lots of twists and turns just like that in a completely new series with a completely new look. I can't wait. I'm really excited. So, if you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share it wherever you like, do all that stuff. Go on Facebook. We're on there. There's a link in the description. We're also on Twitter. There's a link there too. Please, guys, tell me what you think in the comments about the return of Babylon 5. What sort of series would you like to see? What stories would you like to see tackled? Are we afraid that this series might get ruined like so many others and become some woke nonsense? I very much doubt that, though. I don't think JMS would allow that nonsense to go on, but, you know, it's always a risk. So tell me what you think. Please, I can't wait to read your comments. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.